So welcome again to the third edition of the Online Recruitment Telegraph. Once again, I have with me James Macdonald, our commercial manager, who's going to take us through a few very exciting news about what's happening at Turborecruit. Hi, James.
Hi, Jafeth. Yes, absolutely. First of all, I'd like to talk about our new mobile phone application, which we've developed in partnership with an organisation called Development Now.
All right.
Development Now are a very specialist mobile development house, and we've been working with them over the last few months to develop this mobile phone application, and we've rolled it out to 2 clients already, and I'd like to talk a little bit more about that.
Great. So, and this mobile application, what does it do?
Good question, Jafeth. Yeah, basically what it does is it allows candidates to actually apply for jobs either using their iPhone or their Android phone, and they can actually search for your jobs on their phone, and they can actually apply for those jobs via the mobile phone. So the mobile phone, as we all know nowadays, is the is a technology which is progressing, and a lot of organisations are getting mobile apps, and we've basically built one with this company called Development Now.
All right.
Yeah, and it's a standard application, standard functionality across the board. There'll be no customisations. But essentially what it does is it allows candidates to search for jobs, apply for jobs, and actually share jobs with their friends as well.
And in terms of the candidate experience, do they see a logo or something like that for them?
Good question. We brand it to your website, or we brand it based upon the branding of the actual client's website.
Okay.
So it will give the same, it'll have the same look and feel. For all intents and purposes, it's just like a mini Turborecruit website, but on the mobile phone.
All right, can I have a look?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, oh, this is an example.
That's an example.
All right.
There.
Well, have a look, guys. That's pretty cool, eh?
Yeah.
All right.
And so that's up and running now. So if you want to know more details about it, speak to your account manager. They will talk to you around about the commercials, as well as there's an actual terms and conditions document as well, which needs to be signed by the client in relation to this.
And you mentioned that you have to have an iPhone or Android.
Android, it's compatible with.
What about if you have a BlackBerry or?
It'll work on a BlackBerry,
okay.
But we would recommend, from a user experience point of view, the Android or iPhone smartphones are the best candidate experience. And the other good thing, which I almost forgot to mention, is that you know how in Turborecruit, when you go into your list of candidates page and you've got the job board column which shows the source of the candidate, you can actually track the candidates who've applied through the mobile phone because it actually says mobile, which is absolutely fantastic for your source reporting.
Excellent. Thank you, James.
Good. Thank you, Jafeth.
All right, James, what else have you got in store for us this issue?
Yes, well, we're very excited because in January of this year, we created a partnership with the world-leading experts in online video interviewing called Sonru, who are based out of Ireland. And we're very excited about this partnership because we see it significantly strengthening our functionality within Turborecruit.
All right. And in terms of that technology, what would be the touch points in Turbo? When would you be able to leverage this technology in terms of a recruitment process? The whole,
good question, Jafeth. The whole point of the Sonru technology is essentially to help the recruiter when they're basically setting up first round interviews for candidates. So it's actually used extensively by a lot of organisations in their first round interviewing, where there's a significant amount of overhead in actually teeing up those interviews with candidates, rescheduling interviews with candidates, and there's a whole amount of work that's involved in organisations to schedule all of that. The Sonru tool allows the recruiter to effectively create the standard questions or create questions. They can send those questions out online to the candidates, and the candidates can actually answer those questions in their own time, in their own environment, and then they can send those, as soon as they answered those questions, the answers come straight back into the recruiter, and the recruiter can actually review those answers to those questions in their own time.
All right.
So there's no waiting for candidates to turn up to the interview if they're running late or anything like that. Everything's done basically online, and it's a wonderful experience.
And the end result of this would be like improvements in the speed to recruit, or is it a quality, or?
Absolutely both. Oh. I mean, if you're trying to interview 10 people, at telephone interview, maybe even more, this absolutely cuts the time down as far as interviewing goes, and it also increases the quality of the interview, because each candidate will get asked the same question, and the recruiter can review those responses time and time again, and they can actually share the answers to those questions with their colleagues. They can share them securely, and the colleagues can have input as well. So it's absolutely fantastic for reducing the time and effort in your first round interviewing.
Oh, very exciting.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you very much.
And what about the general new releases side of things? Any news for us?
Yeah, absolutely. As you all know, Recruit Advantage is getting into the theme of getting quarterly releases up and running. Our last release was back in December in 2011, and we're planning the next release, which will be happening most likely during the month of April. And we've got around about 16 items of functionality embedded in that release, and we're even already planning the next release, which will happen in June or July of this year as well. So we're becoming more structured around the product improvement side of things, which is what something has been fed back to us from our candidate survey of last year. And we've got 16 items of functionality which we're going to release.
And what sort of items are they? Can you give me an idea?
Yeah, they're across the board. Yeah. And you would have probably received an email from your account managers last week or the week before, and that talks about them. But some of the items I can talk about is we're putting into the quick options. When you go into a candidate record, in the quick options, we're going to insert the Send Candidates document functionality into that. That functionality at the moment only exists on I believe on the candidate search. So now you can actually send candidate documents out from within that particular candidate record, which is a little bit of a navigation improvement there. The clone candidate search. In the last release, we put the clone candidate button on the candidate search results, which we've had some good feedback from clients in relation to that, because the clone candidate function is one of the strengths of the product, enabling you to find candidates of similar nature to the ones that you found. So now that we've brought that functionality out to be more accessible by the users, we're actually adding filters onto that. So when you do the clone candidate search, we're going to add filters onto those search results. So that's another little improvement there. We're going to try and add an indicator on the candidates to indicate whether they're in a folder or not. Some of our clients have said, well, it's great to have all these candidates in there, but we don't know whether they're in folders or not. So we're actually going to put a little indicator beside the candidate name to indicate whether they're actually in a particular folder or not. And as well, another little improvement out of the 16 is that when you're on your list of active adverts, it's not very easy to see if those particular adverts have actually got screening questions attached. You actually have to go into the advert to see if there's screening questions. So we're going to put a little indicator there to say, well, this particular advert has got screening questions. So there's quite a few other little things, but there's some of the ones that I thought I'd mention.
Very good.
And not only that, we've actually also integrated recently with a new job board, which is run by Fairfax Media, and that's Indigenous jobs. So we've got that as a new job board that we can integrate to for you.
I gather that in any case, you will see the detail of all these 16 improvements in an email that has been sent to you. If not, please contact your account manager, and I'm sure they will be happy to give you an update.
Absolutely. And in the next couple of weeks, we'll be sending more information out about the functionality, how those items will actually work.
Very good.
Okay.
Well, thank you so much, James.
Thank you, Jafeth.
And thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next segment.